Welcome to the How to Buy a Home series, where we explain home buying process from start to finish. I'm here with Zeli, who is looking to buy her first home, and I'll be sharing all the final steps included in order to make your dream home a reality.
Thanks, Mansi. And now that I've found a property that I love, what's my next step? What should I do?
First of all, Zeli, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now you're in a position to make an offer.
It's a hard journey.
But it's very exciting, I bet. It's very exciting. So I'll walk you through how to, make an offer and how to get the mortgage submitted and eventually own your very first house.
That's so exciting, honestly. Thanks, Mansi.
You're very welcome. So the very first thing now you need to do, Zeli, is prepare your offer. So now you've found the property that you love and you're looking to make an offer on it. Your willingness to pay the value. So what value you're willing to pay for a particular property. You may not want to offer exactly the same price the market is on sale for. However, what you rather want to do is do proper research of the area. How many properties has been sold around the same postcode recently? You can check that information on Zoopla, Rightmove. You can get all this information online. So please do all your research based on the market condition and the property value. Come up with a property offer.
I had no idea that you could negotiate. I always thought that the price that you see is the price that you have to pay. So there's actually room for negotiating your dream home.
Definitely.
That's insane.
Honestly, negotiation is very common in home buying process.
Wow.
Yes, so do expect that.
Okay.
Prepare your offer based on your research, market condition. Let your estate agents know. They'll pass it on to the vendors, and your vendors may come back with a counter offer.
Okay.
So that's how, there will be a lot of negotiation.
A bit of a dance.
Exactly. But make sure you stick with your budget.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's you who will be paying for the property value and obtaining a mortgage. So make sure you stick to the budget, and when you make an offer, make sure you include any, conditions that you would like to.
Yeah.
Usually I've seen buyers put in a condition like subject to valuation, subject to a survey, or subject to a specific timeline that I'm working towards. So in my own house buying journey, yes, I did the same. When I placed the mortgage offer, the property offer on that property that I liked, I did ask the vendor that I would like to get the mortgage completed, the purchase completed by given period of time.
Wow.
So if you do have any preferences like this or any conditions, make sure you put that in the offer.
Wow,
upfront.
okay. How do I actually apply for a mortgage? I don't know what you're meant to do.
Now all the fun starts. So the very first thing you would be needing to do now, Zeli, is go back to your mortgage broker.
Okay.
Let your broker know that you found the property, this is the property, the purchase price, the deposit you're willing to put down. Your mortgage advisor will run through the whole fact find.
Yeah.
In parallel to that, now is the time to look out for a solicitor.
A solicitor?
Yes.
Where do I find a solicitor?
So your mortgage broker can recommend one.
Oh, okay.
Majority of mortgage brokers, they do work in partnerships with solicitors.
Okay.
So they can recommend you one. You can do your online research. You can compare online, to find out the best cost-effective solicitor services.
Okay.
The two things I would like to highlight here, what you need to consider when choosing a solicitor is make sure that solicitor is on mortgage lenders panel, or it's a solicitor which is, do work with majority of the lenders, because the last thing you'd like to do is having a mortgage recommendation, being very close to application and finding out that the solicitor that you've chosen is not on lender's panel.
Okay, so you definitely don't want to do that. How do I know whether a solicitor is on a lender panel?
You can, by that time, you would have a mortgage recommendation from your broker, so you would know most likely which lender you're going to go with.
Okay.
So you can upfront tell the solicitor, or when your mortgage broker makes a recommendation, they will make sure, this the solicitor they are choosing for you, it's on the panel.
Great.
And the second thing I would say is, when you choose a solicitor, make sure they offer that no completion, no fee service.
Ah.
That's very important. Majority of the
more and more things to add to the budget.
Majority of the solicitors, they do offer, but it's worth checking up front with them.
Okay.
Because with purchases, no matter how smoothly the process is going, there is always a risk that, it may not complete, maybe because valuation picked up few issues with the property, or maybe your circumstances have changed and you're now pulling out from the transaction. So make sure, when you choose a solicitor, that they offer this service.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Mansi. And speaking of valuations, how do I get a valuation? How do I know that the price I'm paying for the home is what it's actually worth? Do I have to organise that, or can my broker organise this?
Your lender will carry out the valuation, which is a mandatory part of the mortgage application process.
Okay.
Because first thing first, lender would like to make sure that the property you're buying is worth their security.
Of course.
But this valuation is going to be a very basic one, just for lenders' purposes. They may not share a report with you. They may not share the information that what's the health of the property, how good the property condition is.
But you can request that information, right?
You can, but lenders have got no responsibility of sharing that because it's just for lenders' purposes. However, what you can do is you can get an independent survey done.
Okay.
There are few comprehensive surveys available, like level 2, home buyers report, level 3, full structural survey.
Okay.
The survey depends on the age of the property, condition of the property. The older the property is, more run down the property is,
right,
better to get full structural survey done.
Got it.
These surveys can take between 2-3 weeks from the appointment actually happening to eventually getting a report. Important thing, you need to pay for that survey.
Another thing to add to the budget?
Another thing to add to the budget, but it's worth the cost, I would say.
For peace of mind,
right? To be very honest, yes, because the survey most likely will pick up if there are any potential issues with the property structurally, if you're getting a full structural survey done, or any issues with, dampness, mold, for example. And it may not be a significant concern, but something to look out for. And if you are still prepared to buy that property, and most importantly, it offers you to further negotiate on the purchase price.
That's so clever. Yeah, absolutely. So then at least if I'm signing on a dotted line, I have all the facts and I know exactly what to expect.
Exactly.
Great. When I have finalised all of the final details, how do I actually pay my deposit? Who do I pay my deposit to? Just the bank?
That will be your solicitor.
The solicitor?
Yes.
No. I can't believe that. Why would the solicitor pay my deposit instead of me giving it to the lender?
Because solicitor is that part in the whole mortgage process which deals with transferring of the money around.
That's so surprising.
They'll collect the deposit from you, pay it to the vendors, the sellers, and they will then obviously speak with the mortgage lender, withdraw the money, the mortgage amount that you've applied for, and complete the mortgage purchase, the property purchase. The process involves 2 parts. One is exchanging of the contracts, and the second one is completion.
Okay.
Exchange and completion can happen on the same day, or it can happen with a 2-week break.
So what's the difference? What's an exchange? And then I'm assuming a completion is when everything's done?
It's done, yeah. Exchange of contract means when you are legally now bound to purchase the property.
That sounds very scary.
That is why taking out a building insurance is mandatory at that point, because you are responsible for the property. So if anything happens to the property post-exchange of contracts, you're responsible for it.
So when you exchange, there's nothing else that can happen that could obstruct you from getting the keys and, it being yours?
Hopefully, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Because your solicitor will make sure,
Fine.
After exchanging of the contract, there is no possible reasons that mortgage or property purchase shouldn't complete.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's why, especially with the purchases, it can exchange of contracts and completion can happen on the same day or in next couple of days.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Mansi. That's super helpful to know. I feel so much clearer on the next steps. And if you'd like to speak to a mortgage advisor or search for mortgage rates, you can definitely head to the Times Money Mentor website, where you'll find a whole host of helpful resources.